At the peak of our relationship, I broke up with Ethan. I quit the graduate program we worked so hard to get into together. I deactivated all contact information. That year, I left cleanly. I left him no way out.
Welcome to listen to my full sweet love series novel. I'm the blogger and I'm Twilight's novel. Now let's start the main story.
At the concert venue, the singer on stage said, "Be brave and bid farewell to the past." Some people were crying loudly around me, some were confessing their love, some were embracing. I also dialed that long-dead phone number. But just as I was prepared to let everything go, the call connected instantly. Ethan's familiar, slightly offbeat voice came through the receiver. "Luna, you finally remembered me." Before my brain could react, my finger instinctively hung up. Only after a delayed moment, as if finally waking up, did it hit me. I looked down at the screen showing a 5-second call duration, and my eyes suddenly stung. Lifting my hand, large teardrops rolled from the corners of my eyes. I covered my eyes, afraid to cry out loud. Yet I trembled uncontrollably, my whole body shaking. The last time I dialed this number was 3 years ago. I had just arrived abroad and fallen ill, running a high fever that wouldn't break. My resolve was weakest then and I missed him terribly. I had foolishly hoped. Just this once, I just want to hear his voice. But a cold female voice came from the other end. "Hello, the number you have dialed is not in service. Please check the number and dial again." Instantly, my phone slipped from my hand and crashed onto the floor from the bed. With a thud, the screen cracked with a long fissure. Just like Ethan and me, shattered beyond repair. I let myself cry all night. The next morning, I woke up and started a new life. Started living in a foreign land without Ethan. Today, 3 years after we separated, I sat at the concert of my favorite singer. As if possessed, I dialed that memorized number again. The first 3 digits were his height. The middle 4 were my birthday. The last 4 were his birthday. Remembering when our love was strongest, I was unbearably spoiled and arrogant. "Ethan, this number is proof of our love. You can never change it in this lifetime, you hear me?" He always leaned back lazily, teasing obvious in his tone. "You say don't change, so I don't change?" I fell right for it, deliberately sitting on his lap, glaring at him. "Of course. Even if we fight, you can't deactivate it. Not even if we break up." His grip tightened, his expression turning colder. "Say that again. Not even what?" I dodged his mischievous hand, giggling, then leaned in to kiss him placatingly. Wrong. We'd never break up anyway." Only then did he seem somewhat satisfied, letting out a nasal "Won't change it." Then he turned his head and kissed me. The music started again, the concert entering its intense second-half climax. I snapped back to reality from those agonizing memories. As I dialed the number, I told myself, "Hear the sound of your heart dying one more time. Then you're forbidden from dwelling in the past related to him." But before I could finish the thought, Ethan's voice came through. There was no time to wonder why an empty number 3 years ago connected now. No time to ponder Ethan's words. The voice that echoed in my mind countless sleepless nights finally became reality. My body's only reaction was to cry. The concert was still ongoing. I quickly left the venue, half running to the exit before stopping in a fluster. The phone in my hand was burning hot. The text message that just came in choked my breath. It was from that familiar string of numbers. Parking lot B entrance. The sender showed no urgency, as if it was just a casually sent message. I hesitated at the entrance for a long time. I came up with dozens of reasons not to go. My steps initially headed towards the main road, but eventually turned around. I still walked towards the parking lot. All those reasons couldn't outweigh the desire to see him. Seeing Ethan was too tempting for me. It was a priority disregarding all consequences. It was an appointment I'd keep even if it meant breaking apart again, ending badly. A black Bentley was parked at the entrance, hazard lights flashing. I slowly walked over and tried the rear door handle. It didn't budge. I had to pace to the front. The passenger door opened. I cautiously sat inside. The moment I truly shared the same space with Ethan, the courage that brought me here vanished completely. He sat in the driver's seat, one hand resting on the steering wheel, holding a cigarette. He showed no reaction to my arrival, Didn't even glance at me. Cold, distant, and heartless. Reuniting abruptly with an ex after 3 years. I suddenly realized how reckless and absurd my decision from the past 10 minutes was. I didn't dare move, my spine rigid, my breathing shallow. The person I longed to see was right there, yet I felt like a starving beggar confronted with a lavish 5-star feast, overwhelmed by an urge to retreat. I shouldn't have come. Regret began to spread from my mind. I suppressed all emotions, pinched my palm hard, striving for utmost calm, then looked at him. Long time no see. He ignored me, his gaze still fixed on the cigarette. I averted my eyes, the urge to get out constantly surfacing. Every minute, every second in the car was torture. Luna, have you ever regretted it? Ethan suddenly spoke, his tone flat. I instinctively looked over, meeting his gaze mid-air. His eyes held no discernible emotion, a stark contrast to the boy who always smiled dotingly at me. My fingers tightened around the seatbelt. I'm sorry. He let out an extremely mocking ha, then fell silent. I bit my lower lip, saying nothing. The next second, the car pulled out of the parking lot. At an intersection, the red light was long. Just as it turned green, his phone rang. I took the chance to subtly turn and examine him, thinking myself discreet. He'd lost some weight, his features seemed sharper, lips often pressed thin when not smiling, but his face was still exceptionally handsome. He murmured a few agreements and hung up. Address. I was slow to respond. Shangjing Hotel. Ethan frowned. Hotel. I just returned to the country this week. Haven't found an apartment yet. We'll move after starting work. He offered no response, not even his usual perfunctory nod. That aura of pushing people 1,000 miles away returned. I turned away to look out the window, desperately trying to ignore the disappointment in my heart. We arrived at the hotel parking lot in silence. I took 2 deep breaths, preparing to thank him. Just as I turned my head, he pressed me back against the seat. Ethan had unbuckled his seatbelt and leaned over. The distance was so close I saw my reflection in his amber eyes. I instinctively swallowed, my voice small. Ethan, I'll ask one last time. Did you ever regret it? I knew the answer he wanted, but I couldn't give it. Afraid to look at him, I could only close my eyes in the end. A moment later, the intense presence around me suddenly vanished. He slumped back into his seat, seemingly drained, looking defeated. Forget it. Go. I scrambled to push the car door open, bending over to step onto the ground. As soon as I steadied myself, I heard his voice. Luna, you have no heart. The car sped away. Ethan's appearance overturned the past completely. It threw all our history vividly back in front of me. I was 2 days late for freshman registration due to personal reasons. My counselor helped me complete the enrollment and personally delivered me to the military training instructor. Being late for training was a novelty. The instructor was strict, and I was never athletic. I was practically held up as the example of what not to do every day. Over time, half the freshmen on the field knew me. Oh, that girl who gets pulled out for special training every day. Ethan was the temporary leader of the neighboring boys' squad. He caused chaos in the freshman crowd purely with his face. Oh, that aloof, handsome new guy. Until one day, the instructor was correcting my goose-stepping posture when he was suddenly called away for a meeting. I was about to happily wave goodbye when I saw him point his right finger. Ethan, come here. Correct her posture. All the curious eyes nearby focused on us. Ethan, holding a water bottle, sauntered over to me. I spoke first. I know you. Ethan raised an eyebrow, silent. Heard you're the best looking in our year. I meant to curry favor for some leniency, but it backfired. I know you too. The one most likely to trip over her own feet. A sarcastic handsome guy was not worth it. I surrendered, silently resuming training. Continue. Lift your leg. Don't shake. He called out a few commands, then suddenly used the bottle to lift my arm. Straighten it. Hold still. His tone was businesslike. Tell me if you can't hold it. I was always stubborn. Reporting I can. But the moment he removed the bottle, freeing my hand, my whole world spun violently. I successfully passed out from heatstroke, falling into Ethan's unprepared arms. There are always a few bone-deep moments in one's life. I will always remember how Ethan looked sitting quietly by the hospital bed reading the medication instructions when I woke up. Thin lips, high nose bridge, long eyes. His profile was beautiful like a prince. I blinked, momentarily speechless. I just lay there motionless, watching him. Until he lifted his gaze, his voice deep and gentle. "Awake?" I nodded. Not only was I awake. The little deer quiet for 18 years in my heart also woke up. The next day during training, the instructor checked on me. I explained it was just mild sun allergy. As long as I wasn't exposed too long, it was fine. Ethan's squad was gathering nearby. Their instructor loved to joke. Hearing the commotion, he turned and boomed. "So it wasn't Xiao Su's training that made you faint? No need to take responsibility then." Cheers erupted around. I looked at Ethan in the crowd. He was lowering his head, putting on his cap, completely detached. I had to look away, licked my lips and summoned my courage. "Ah, come on." I still fainted in front of him. He should at least show some classmate care. Then I shouted towards Ethan. "Ethan, thanks." The cheers grew louder. But the tips of his ears, visible as he lowered his head, instantly flushed red. I grinned, my mood soaring. After training ended, I had only 2 missions. 1. Experience university life. 2. Chase Ethan. Freshman year? Just experience it casually. The focus was on chasing Ethan. Helping him carry books, pick up packages, occasionally bring food, assist with group projects. He probably felt some lingering responsibility for my fainting episode. He fulfilled most of my requests. We muddled through like this for 2 or 3 months. On the winter solstice, I cooked dumplings with my roommate and specifically brought him some. He wore a black down jacket, looking cool and aloof. I handed him the lunchbox. "Gotta eat dumplings on the solstice. I cooked them myself. Try them." He froze for a second before taking it. "Happy winter solstice, Ethan." Ethan didn't go upstairs immediately. He held the box in one hand, the other in his pocket. "Want to take a walk?" I happily nodded. Yeah. We walked a lap around the campus paths. He walked me back to my dorm. When I mentioned almost being late for roll call yesterday, a smile escaped his lips. He rarely smiled normally, but it was captivating when he did. I suddenly stepped left, right in front of him, tilting my head up, eyes curved, looking at him. "Ethan, you look really handsome when you smile." Someone so handsome should be my boyfriend. After saying it, I didn't expect an answer. I usually flirted and ran. As I was about to put on my hat and turn away, my wrist was caught the next second. Ethan looked down, the amusement still lingering at the corners of his eyes. He looked into my eyes seriously and nodded. "Okay." My brain froze for seconds. "Huh? Okay, what?" "Be your boyfriend." Just like that, I landed the famous handsome freshman. The campus forum lamented for ages. Ethan was from the business school, known for being aloof, speaking little, rarely smiling, and not having the best temper. I was an art student from the Fine Arts Academy, sporting striking, beautiful features, active in all sorts of campus activities. So someone started a thread, "When will Luna and Ethan break up?" Honestly, I hadn't seriously thought about it myself back then. Young, full of novelty, living day by day for fun. Who knew we'd date all the way to junior year? I remembered one summer vacation. I joined a school volunteer teaching team in a remote area. One night after showering, I saw a figure standing on the slope by the school gate, like the drifter locals talked about. He probably meant no harm, but seeing him standing in the dark, grinning at me late at night scared me badly. That night, calling Ethan, I stuttered and cried uncontrollably, barely falling asleep past midnight. The next evening, Ethan appeared before me. He opened his arms. "Come here. Let me hold you." He was still interning at the time, his project tight. He could only stay one night and had to rush back early next morning. I called him stupid, asking why bother with the exhausting trip. He just held me tighter. I wouldn't be at ease if I didn't come. Looking back now, Ethan truly doted on me those years. He was always there when I called. Even when out drinking with his brothers, he remembered to bring me late-night snacks. Covered in alcohol scent, he stood obediently outside my dorm. I took the food, urging him to go rest. He hugged me, burying his face in my neck, softly murmuring, "But baby, we haven't seen each other today." He never even raised his voice at me. All our fights were started by me. During our worst fight, he only ignored me for a day. But at 11:59 p.m., he still sent me a stiff good night on WeChat. This person was truly too good. So good that I imagined countless times that every minute should be spent with him, lest I waste it. So in my junior year, second semester, I followed him to the library. "Ethan, let's prepare for grad school together. I want the same school as you. At least strive for the same city." He always liked pinching my ear, gently rubbing it, a smile on his lips. Okay. Perhaps those years of indulgent smooth sailing made me forget fate's favorite trick. The day the grad school acceptance list came out, Ethan called me. "Baby, we both got in." He was genuinely thrilled, listing piles of post-graduation travel plans. I just listened carefully to every word, then said, "Ethan, let's break up." The dream ended abruptly here. I struggled to sit up, realizing my whole body ached. Pressing my hand to my forehead, it felt hot. I had a fever. The bedside phone rang. It was HR from my new company. "Is this Miss Luna? We'd like to discuss your onboarding next Monday." I mumbled agreement. After hanging up, I ordered medicine delivery and fell back asleep. I don't know how long I slept before another call woke me. Thinking it was the delivery guy, I had no strength to get up, my voice hoarse. "Sorry. Please leave the medicine by the door." "Thank you. You're sick." I was truly feverish and muddled. What happened after? I barely remembered. I sank back into a chaotic dream. In the dream, I saw the hotel ceiling again. Turning my head, I froze. Ethan sat on the sofa, hands clasped, eyes closed in light sleep, faint dark circles under his eyes. Just like when I woke up in the infirmary years ago. After all these years, I finally dreamed of him again. I reached out my right hand to touch him but couldn't reach. Then the person on the sofa opened his eyes. His expression wasn't gentle, but he stood and walked over. Awake. My suspended right hand finally lightly touched his face. Tears welled uncontrollably. "Ethan, you finally came to see me in my dream?" Warmth radiated from beneath my palm. Ethan didn't move, his dark eyes just watching me. "Ethan." I called his name again, voice rasping. This time he responded, leaning his face closer to my palm. I burst into loud sobs. "I missed you so much. Ethan, I missed you." Ethan froze for a moment, then finally bent down and hugged me. "I'm here." Starved for this embrace for so long, I hugged him back with all my strength. When I truly woke up, the splitting headache was gone, only the discomfort lingering after a high fever remained. I tried to turn over but felt warmth still in my hand. Following the arm I was clutching, I looked up. Ethan was still beside me. His voice wasn't so cold anymore. Still uncomfortable? My fingers twitched. I closed my eyes, muttering to myself, "How am I still dreaming?" The warmth in my hand didn't feel fake. I snapped my eyes open, falling straight into Ethan's dark gaze. You, what are you doing here?" I struggled to sit up immediately, forgetting my weakness. I pushed too hard, banging my head against the headboard. A crisp, loud, objective thud. So this was what seeing stars felt like. The hotel manager and doctor excused themselves. I leaned against the headboard, locking eyes with Ethan standing beside me. The hotel manager's words still echoed. I licked my lips, polite. "Sorry for the trouble." Ethan didn't speak, but his low mood was palpable. I sighed inwardly. Why, since returning, had everything become such a coincidence? The air was quiet for a moment. He pulled a chair over, sat down, picked up an apple from the table, and casually started peeling it with a knife. He used to have great knife skills. Every peel he coiled into a rose to amuse me. The sight made my eyes sting again. I didn't want to cry in front of him, so I turned away, forcing it back. Behind me, Ethan's voice came. "Staying in the country? Not leaving? Got a boyfriend now? Answer me." "No." "Then." He left half the sentence hanging. I waited. Finally, I looked back at him. "Want to be together again?" For a moment, I thought I misheard. Why? Ethan's hand paused. Just as he was about to finish peeling, he snapped the peel off. He tossed the apple into the fruit bowl, looking at me, his tone flippant. Don't misunderstand. Not for dating. I just want to change my female companion lately. You fit the bill. I didn't respond. His voice came again. Given our years of history, Miss Luna wouldn't refuse, would you? I almost forgot. This was how young Master Sue acted around others. Leaving like that back then was entirely my fault. So whatever happened now, I deserved it. I nodded. Okay. If you need me, just call. Although the apartment was furnished, I only brought one suitcase back. I needed many things. So every day after work, I went to the nearby department store. After half a month of gradual furnishing, the place finally felt lived in. Hello. No response. I said, hello? Again, turning to leave. Only then did the familiar voice come through. Come to chow yet. Ethan's speech was slightly slurred, like he'd been drinking. I was about to speak when the call ended. His alcohol tolerance wasn't great. Sometimes he'd even get allergies. I didn't overthink, quickly turned off the stove, grabbed a coat, and hailed a taxi to the club he mentioned. I stood outside the door unprepared when it swung open from inside. I'm gonna see what kind of girl Ah Young called. The second half of the sentence dropped. Ryan stood there holding the door, then uttered, "Holy shit!" The room instantly quieted. He froze in the doorway, looked back at Ethan, then turned to me. I broke the silence first. "Long time no see." Ryan stuttered. Long tea time no see." "The fuck you playing doorman?" Ethan snapped. Ryan jumped back, releasing the handle to let me in. A dozen people filled the private room. Ethan sat in the middle, swirling his glass. A girl in a white dress sat to his right. I walked over under everyone's gaze, nodding slightly at a few familiar faces I vaguely remembered. Finally, I stopped before Ethan and smiled at the girl beside him. "Hello. This is my seat. Please move." The white dress girl retorted. "Who are you? You think you can just sit next to Brother Seyoung?" I met her gaze. "If I can't sit here, no one can." Gasps sounded around. White dress immediately grabbed Ethan's arm, whining, "Seyoung-gu." Ethan finally looked away from his glass. "You think you're worthy?" 3 icy words, dripping with sarcasm. Snickers rose around. White dress tried to speak again, but Ryan clamped a hand over her mouth and dragged her away. I straightened my spine, standing tall and graceful. Then I answered Ethan seriously. "I was worthy once." Ethan abruptly set down his glass, stood, and walked straight out. I followed him out of the room. Ethan closed his eyes as soon as he got in the car. I looked out the window, sitting rigidly still. The neon lights flashed by outside. Beijing was still Beijing, glamorous yet occasionally lonely. I hadn't wanted to dwell on the past all these years, coasting along, thinking I'd managed okay. But Ethan's mere presence seemed to build a pontoon bridge in my mind. On the other side connected my university, our shared past. Then all the memories pointed accusing fingers at me. "You Luna wronged Ethan." Trapped in those memories, I couldn't escape, and no one else could enter. The only one who could had thrown away the key. So I had to come find him. Atonement, torture. Whatever it was, I had to find this person. Thinking this, I subtly turned to look at him, only to be caught mid-glance. Ethan had woken up and was watching me impassively. "Keep the last weekend of the month free." I instinctively replied, "Appointment." He hummed affirmatively. "Someone will pick you up then." I nodded in acknowledgement. The car arrived at my apartment gate first. I pushed the door open. Before closing it, I hesitated, then pulled it back open. I took the yogurt from my bag and placed it on the seat. I'd specifically detoured to the supermarket for it before leaving. He used to drag me to buy this flavor after drinking with friends. But I understood the principle of things changing. If you don't drink it, just throw it away. After getting home, showering and losing my appetite for supper, I lay in bed sleepless. I picked a movie and curled up on the couch. You're up late again." I smiled. "Evening. Just watching a movie. 10 more minutes then bed." David stopped nagging. "How are things lately?" "All right." "Seen him?" Yeah. David paused, seemingly sighing, then finally advised. Remember to finish the last course of treatment. Take care of yourself. A month into the new job, I settled into the rhythm. Colleagues were friendly. Leaving work Friday, walking out with the group. Someone suddenly suggested weekend dinner. Most agreed. Asked, I declined politely. Sorry, busy this weekend. A senior colleague nearby teased. If Jiao Yu doesn't go, many single male colleagues will be disappointed. I smiled back. Sister Liang, don't tease. If my boyfriend hears, I'll have to coax him for ages. Other colleagues sounded surprised. You really have a boyfriend, Jiao Yu? I nodded. Next week, it's my treat for coffee. On the way home, I stopped for groceries and picked up 2 packages. Approaching my building, I saw the familiar Bentley parked roadside. A man in a black suit approached respectfully. Miss Luna, I'm Mr. Su's assistant, surname Fong. I'll pick you up tomorrow at 3 p.m. First to the stylist, then to the venue for 6 p.m. Mr. Su has a meeting tomorrow. He'll join you directly afterwards. I acknowledged. All right. Anything I need to prepare? Not at all. The stylist will handle your gown and accessories. May I ask what kind of event it is? A private gathering hosted by young Master He. Okay, thank you. Ryan was Ethan's childhood friend, a classic playboy. Whenever Ethan was busy, Ryan became the errand boy to my dorm. During our relationship, he loved teasing Ethan with me. Damn, since meeting Min Mei, Yang's smiles almost outnumber what I've seen in 20 years. The day we broke up, he called me separately. Min Mei, nothing's too big for you too. Don't be so cruel. Talk it. I cut him off. Brother Ryan, we can only go this far. Please watch over him more in the future. Ethan and I didn't break up cleanly. Ethan was in a closed training session for a competition. I got called home abruptly. We hadn't contacted each other for over half a month. His smile was still on his face when he got my breakup news. Ethan only asked, why? Once on the phone. I replied heartlessly, because I'm done playing. Don't want to continue. So these years, you were just playing me? I deliberately mocked. Ethan, you didn't take it seriously, did you? He took a deep breath, still holding his temper. Talk to me properly. He'd said before that whatever problems we had, he'd solve them, as long as I didn't joke about breaking up. So it was my first time mentioning it. I laughed coldly. Why didn't I tell you? Because I didn't want to be with you anymore. At first, I just chased you because you were good-looking. And I succeeded. Ethan's voice turned icy. Luna, we dated almost 4 years. Not 4 days. You treated me so well. I was too lazy to break up. Too lazy. Those closest know exactly where to aim the sharpest needles. Yeah. The guys chasing me weren't as tall, handsome, or rich as you. Better to stay with you. But now I'm bored. Don't want it anymore. That grad school exam was for you too, but I'm going abroad now. He was silent. Tilting my head up, suppressing all emotion, I feigned indifference. Ethan, you wouldn't refuse to break up, would you? Ethan, proud to the bone, hung up in rage. Luna, don't regret this. I knew he was furious. I knew once he cooled down, he'd call that night. Knew he'd rush back to school after the competition to talk face to face. But it was too late. After that call I left. Quit the grad school we worked so hard for. Didn't even return to school. Abandoned my dorm. Graduation. All contact information shut down overnight. I left cleanly. I left him no way out. The party was at a luxurious villa in the suburbs. Flowers carpeted the entrance. Balloons hung over the lawn beside a sparkling pool. The atmosphere buzzed. Assistant Fong dropped me off, whispered to Ryan, then left. Ryan's attitude was lukewarm. Yang's delayed. Want me to arrange a room? It's okay. I'll find a seat. He nodded and was called away. I sat by the poolside lounge area, idly playing Candy Crush. Miss, care for a drink? A stranger with a greasy smile appeared. I declined bluntly. Sorry, allergic. He opened his mouth again, cut off by a sharp female voice. Don't be mad, young Master Leong. This is the renowned Fine Arts Academy beauty. A flock of chirping girls surrounded me. My gaming finger paused. I looked up. Chloe, in a pink princess dress, stood center stage. My heart felt little ripples. I knew showing up at KTV that night would lead to this. My relationship with Ethan was famous back then. Reappearing by his side after 3 years, the vultures would smell blood. Chloe was definitely the loudest, most annoying one. She and Ethan were high school classmates. Rumor said she entered our uni for him. She chased him for years, only for me to snatch him first. Especially when she once insinuated I was a fox flaunting the tiger's might. I turned to Ethan, whining and complaining, deliberately making a fuss to live up to the name. Since then, she never showed up where I went. Naturally, we despised each other. I couldn't be bothered to argue, ignored her, kept playing. When I stayed silent, her lackeys stepped up. Who's so proud? Just an ex. What, crawling back to cling to young Master Su? But Miss Min, times change. Being a homewrecker is low. Here, I pocketed my phone, staring at the last speaker. What did you say? She puffed her chest, emboldened. Liu Yaojie and Seong Ji's families are discussing marriage. Friendly advice. Don't be the other woman. Chloe, like a proud peacock, looked at me triumphantly. She declared loftily, "We expect Miss Min's attendance at our wedding." I stood up, indifferent. Oh. Have Ethan tell me himself. I turned to leave. After 2 steps, my wrist was suddenly struck. Sharp pain. My phone fell into the pool. Oh dear, so sorry. Let me buy you a new one? Get lost. Ignoring my wrist, I pushed people aside and jumped into the pool. Frantically searched for my phone underwater. The commotion drew the crowd. I heard Ryan's furious voice. What the hell are you bitches doing? Some explained, others watched. Finding nothing nearby, panic grew. A mediocre swimmer, the deep pool sapped my strength. Splash! Someone else jumped in towards me. Ethan hauled me ashore. Clutching his hand near tears. Ethan, my phone. Please help me find it. He draped a towel over me, soothing. Okay, don't panic. Wait here. I'll find it. He dove in alone. The crowd watched silently. He surfaced, holding a phone, swimming towards me. His gaze softened, eyes only on me. Found it. I lunged forward, pried off the case. The sole Polaroid inside was waterlogged. My last mental thread snapped instantly. My nose stung. Ethan, our photo. It's ruined. Ethan was soaked. I was soaked. Yet right there before everyone, he gently kissed my tears away. It won't be gone. Trust me. I'll fix it. Ryan approached with a towel. Ethan didn't take it. He scooped me up like a child, heading towards the villa. Passing Chloe, Ethan paused coldly. The Su family doesn't decide for me. Whoever promised to marry you, go find them. Chloe reached out, but Ryan yanked her back, hissing. Go near him now, you're dead. Don't say I didn't warn you. The chatter faded behind us. Ethan carried me to a second-floor bedroom, placing me on the bathroom counter. The doctor's coming. I'll have someone help you change first. I fiddled with my skirt, avoiding his eyes. And no need. I can do it. He thought briefly, then grinned mischievously, his tone familiar. Change yourself? Then I have to watch. I glared. He covered my eyes. His lips brushed mine. Just a light peck before pulling back. Be good. Or I'll really kill those people downstairs. I shrank back. Oh. After the doctor bandaged my wrist, Ethan tucked me in. Sleep. I'll take you home when you wake. I held his pinky finger, looking up carefully. You'll stay? MHM. I smiled. Okay. I'll sleep then. The haunting dreams vanished. I slept soundly for once. Waking, the room was dark. Still groggy, unsure of time or place. I instinctively called out. Ethan. I'm here. He switched on the bedside lamp. Sitting on the edge, he gently rubbed my wrist. My first year abroad, I'd woken countless times calling his name to an empty room. Still half asleep, I'd called out. But this time, he was really here. I blinked slowly, finally sure. This person had returned to my side once more. Descending the stairs with Ethan, the villa was cleared. Ryan sat in the living room. Hearing us, he stood, apologetic. "You okay?" I smiled. "Fine. All good. My fault for not watching better. Let Chloe and her pack slip through. I'll make it right." He glanced nervously at Ethan. The gesture reminded me of university. His friends always joked. Pissing off Ethan is nothing. Pissing off Luna? That's bad news. Because Ethan didn't sweat the small stuff. The only thing he took seriously was me. At KTV that night, his "you think you're worthy?" signaled something to others. I was history. So Chloe's group dared to confront me. But tonight, it felt like the old days when he protected me. If Ethan truly raged, those around suffered. Ryan knew best. My smile held genuine warmth. "Brother Ryan, no need. I troubled you." "It's nothing." Then I tugged Ethan's sleeve. He looked down. I signaled with my eyes. "Look how guilty Ryan is. Say something." He finally addressed Ryan, kicking his leg lightly. "I'll handle the reckoning." "What's it to you?" Ryan instantly brightened. Ethan led me towards the dining room. "Dinner." "Ah, right away." After dinner, Ethan prepared to leave. He went to get the car. Ryan and I waited at the door. "Min May." Ryan, flushed from solo drinks at dinner, leaned against the doorframe. He called my name and stopped. I prompted. "Brother Ryan? What's up?" Ryan suddenly beamed, genuinely happy. "Thank you for coming back." "I'm happy for Ah Young. Truly." Ethan rarely spoke much while driving himself. I stole glances, replaying Ryan's words. "You left too ruthlessly. He waited outside your dorm all night, only learning you'd gone abroad. Later, his family learned you'd broken up and forcibly took him home. Cut off from contacting you, restricted. That was the first time he bowed to his family. Said he just wanted to see your home. Just one look." This big guy nearly cried then. That was Ethan, proud since childhood. His family still didn't let him go. Finally, I went for him. Met your parents. Learned you truly went abroad. After that, he never spoke your name again. Obeyed his family. Joined the company after graduation. Lived like an ascetic monk these years. Just work. His family nagged constantly. He ignored them. Tricked onto blind dates. He'd just walk out. We all saw. He stubbornly waited for you. Did we blame you? Impossible not to, somewhat. But you're back. And this bastard Ethan instantly reverted. We watched you two all along. If you see me as a brother, listen. Let the past go. Be together properly. You two don't have many 3-year chunks left to waste." I knew his years weren't easy, but imagining and hearing were worlds apart. Ethan kept things inside. If this was what Ryan knew, what about when he was alone? What kept him going? Breath caught in my throat. I took small sips of air. My heart ached intensely. "What's wrong?" Ethan pulled over, turning to me. I looked away. "Nothing. Just sleepy again." Suddenly, he pinched my chin, turning me back, leaning close. "Tell me. Feeling wrong tonight?" I went along. "Yes." Ethan rubbed my cheek with his thumb. "Sorry I was late." "I promise never again." Casually, he added. "Chloe and I, nothing. Don't mind her." The dam I'd held back all day threatened to burst. He was still the boy who wouldn't let me misunderstand, even after a fight. He blinked, appeasing. "Don't be wronged. Take you somewhere nice tomorrow." Instantly, the long-suppressed emotions broke free. "Ethan, I regretted it." He froze completely. I flung my arms around his neck, burying my face in his collarbone. Tears fell one by one, scalding his skin. "Sorry. It was all my fault." I'm sorry." He gently stroked my head, soothing me through my sobs. "It's all in the past." That night, Ethan took me home, made me sleep-inducing milk, and left only after I slept. Before leaving, he ordered breakfast for the next morning. Then he started chatting with me intermittently on WeChat. Sue. Morning. Sue. Lunch. Photo. I followed my routine, Woke up, worked, off work, followed his pace. Curvy moon. Morning. Curvy moon. The boss eats better than the worker bee. Takeout photo. Half an hour later he loftily replied, I didn't reply, seizing the chance to nap. Waking from my nap, heading to make coffee, the receptionist urgently called, delivery for me. Confused, I approached. The delivery guy greeted, Miss Min. I nodded. He handed me a lovely bouquet of cappuccino roses, then gestured to a pile of desserts and milk tea on the counter. Finally, loud and clear. Mr. Su wishes you a pleasant day. Post-nap, pre-work, passing colleagues joined the teasing chorus. I quickly had the milk tea and desserts distributed, escaping back to my desk amidst the banter, holding the flowers. Curvy moon. Meow meow meow. Su. Curvy moon. Why the grand gesture? Flowers and afternoon tea. Su. Don't like it. Curvy moon. No, no. Flowers are lovely. Everyone said the desserts and tea were delicious. Su. Take a picture of the flowers. I casually placed them by the window, snapped a photo, and sent it. Su. Flowers are average. The person is beautiful. Looking closely, my reflection was visible in the window pane. From thousands of miles away. My face instantly flushed, ears burning. After composing myself, I pretended nonchalance. Curvy moon. Thanks for the treats. Back to work. But Boss Su seemed unusually free today, replying instantly. Su. Verbal thanks. Curvy moon. Or what? Su. Should the thanker also think of the thank you gift? Curvy moon. Dinner. Su. Acceptable. I was about to ask his restaurant preference when his next message arrived. Su. Want you to cook. I always thought 3 years was too long a gap, that we needed to refamiliarize ourselves. But facing this person, the fears, confusion, and worries vanished. Being with him felt safe. Ethan seemed still himself. The Ethan from my happiest memories. I silently savored this happiness, then secretly slacked off. Curvy moon. Sure. Your schedule. Su. Friday. The happy mood carried me from Monday to Friday. I clocked out on time, pondering adding a clear soup, when I saw Chloe waiting at the company entrance. I walked over calmly. Looking for me? Up close, she looked thinner, a far cry from the haughty princess a week ago. She stared silently. Losing patience, I was about to leave when she called out. Chloe looked listless, her eyes dull. I came to apologize. My fault for making you fall in the water. My friend's hurtful words too. I apologize for them. Her tone held genuine remorse. I turned to look. Okay. Accepted. But she lingered. I waited. The supposed engagement. Just a joke between families before. If possible, please tell Ethan to stop targeting our companies. But if not, it's okay. I nodded. Okay. I'll tell him. She suddenly smiled, showing pretty dimples. Luna, sometimes I envy you. I loved him 10 years, yet couldn't compare to your instant. I need to let go now. This city holds too many memories of him. I'm moving south for a few years. I didn't know what to say. Finally. Wish you well. Just then my phone rang. Ethan calling. Chloe gestured for me to answer and got back in her car. She lowered the window, waved. Goodbye, Luna. I waved back. Goodbye, Chloe. I answered. Just off work. He said he'd arrive in 5 minutes. Told me to wait. That night, I cooked 3 dishes and a soup. Ethan polished them off. After dinner, he volunteered to wash dishes while I tended plants on the balcony. Finished, I turned on the projector, picked an old movie. Lights dimmed. He sat to my right. Though not close, his presence filled the space. It was my favorite movie, yet I couldn't focus. Every breath brought thoughts of him beside me. As my breath grew shallow, David's call shattered the mood. Instinctively wanting privacy, I forgot the lights. Standing, my shin hit the coffee table hard. Ethan steadied me. In the fluster, my finger hit answer. David, impatient, didn't let me speak. You just saw your email. Though you say you're happy with him daily, I urge you to finish the last medication course. Ideally, return periodically for checkups. Finally snapping to, I interrupted. Okay, David. Busy now. Call you later. Hung up quickly. Ethan turned on the light, flooding the room. Before I could explain, he guided me back to the sofa. Where's your medicine? Unthinking, I pointed. There. He strode over, opening the box. My brain finally rebooted. Wait. Too late. Ethan saw everything, including the last course medication, antidepressants. Ethan had a psychologist friend. He recognized them instantly. I sat frozen, spine chilling. He stood motionless, back turned. Finally, he walked back with the cream. Kneeling silently, he applied it to my bruised shin. Finished, he replaced everything, then picked up the pill bottles. Ethan kept his head down. Finally he spoke. He said, "Sorry. All this time back I was selfish. Forgot to ask. These years. Were you in pain too?" I slid off the sofa, sitting on the rug, taking the hand holding the bottles. I sought his eyes, lifting his face. His eyes were already red-rimmed. Cupping his face, I whispered, "Ethan, it was just a minor illness. I'm better now." Repeating, "I only came back to find you after getting better." Tears welled in those beautiful eyes I adored. He shut them. Tears traced down his cheeks, scalding my hand. He stayed silent, letting them fall. This was my first time seeing Ethan cry. Flustered, I wiped his tears, trying to explain. Not serious, really. Didn't suffer much. Just needed time to adjust. The doctor says I recovered perfectly. Truly. Didn't mean to hide it. Seeing you makes me too happy to remember. He pulled me into a tight embrace, burying his face in my hair. Still won't tell me why you broke up then? The day after Ethan entered closed training, I got an urgent call home. My parents' business investment crashed. Competitors threatened. Creditors hounded them. They presented prepared overseas documents. Everything's arranged. Study abroad a few years. Take care. Once this passes, we'll bring you home. I'd been kidnapped by business rivals as a child. Though rescued, I needed therapy for months. The flight was next week. Their fear was real. I understood. It wasn't that I refused to go. I instantly thought of Ethan. My grad school interview went well. My entrance exam scores led. I was so close to joining Ethan at his school. So close. Dad patted my shoulder, resigned. If not urgent, we wouldn't rush this. We know about you and Xiao Su. But his grandfather's political. Our mess tangling with them? Big trouble. Inappropriate. Daughter, listen to Dad. End it before leaving. But we just planned post-graduation introductions to parents. I knew Ethan too well. If he knew, he'd refuse to split. How could I ask him to wait? I sat silent, refusing to nod or shake my head. Before I could react, unwelcome guests arrived home that night. Debt collectors. Amidst chaos, I was shoved down the stairs. My wrist slammed onto the floor, bleeding profusely. Waking in the hospital, doctors spouted jargon. I only asked, "Can I still paint?" He paused, sighing, shaking his head. I closed my eyes. Unable to cry. Perhaps fate. My decade-long passion for art. Gone. My beloved boy. No future together. Dreams shattered. Love destroyed. No one told me what to do. All I could do was watch my parents cry, apologize, beg me to go. Finally, I agreed. Okay. I'll break up. I'll go. You take care too. A small scar remained on my right wrist. Overseas, my major shifted from art to management. They offered to help me pack at school. I refused. Handle the school stuff. Don't want to go back. Back in Ethan's world, I couldn't bear to leave. The morning of my flight, standing at the airport with luggage, I got Ethan's call after 2 weeks. He couldn't hide his joy. "Baby!" We both got in. Then I heard my own cold voice. "Ethan, let's break up." It wasn't thinking love meant letting go. I just refused to let that radiant person sink with me. Someone so good deserved to live brilliantly forever. Just after arriving abroad, I fell ill. Fevers recurred. Sleepless nights. No appetite. The housekeeper planned to call my parents. I stopped her. Aunt Seong, don't. Mom and Dad are overwhelmed. Probably just jet lag. I'll be fine. Then I forced myself to eat, gulped nauseating herbal brews. Lost nearly 10 pounds in a month. Then came solitary enrollment, classes, assignments, studies. No friends. No social life. Sometimes whole days passed silently. My first year passed. Later, family business stabilized. Mom asked if I wanted to visit. But then, I sat across from a psychologist hearing. Sorry, dear. It's depression. Only then did I realize my insomnia, low moods, inexplicable tears were mental health. My parents flew over immediately. They found the top local clinic. David became my doctor. First session, David asked what I'd do back home. Closing my eyes, Ethan filled my mind. I said, want to see someone. Whatever his life now, I want to see him. But I want to stand before him healthy. Following David's advice, I got a dog. Gradually made a few friends. Truly began living. Mood stabilized. Everything improved. Graduation came. I secured a job back home. David took my dog. He clasped hands, smiling. Godspeed. Good luck. What seemed like the end of the world then was just a few sentences now. The living room fell into prolonged silence. Ethan held me tightly, as if pouring all his strength. We were two lonely, fragile creatures, seeking warmth in each other. Sitting beside him, I felt his heartache and sorrow. Gently patting his back, I soothed. Ethan, let's both stop hurting, okay? His voice was hoarse. I'm sorry. Forcing lightness. Didn't want to tell you, afraid of this. Don't be sorry. It's over. Much later. Ethan slowly lifted his head. Cradling my face, he kissed me like something precious. Looking into my eyes, he solemnly said, Luna, I love you. And I mean not just right now, but every single day of these past 3 years. Ethan started driving me to and from work daily. Occasionally busy with work dinners, he sent his schedule via assistant. Messaged me intermittently. Sue. Steamed fish here's good. Bring you next time. Sue. These people keep drinking. Annoying. I sensed him trying to reclaim our past, passionate selves. Coincidentally, so did I. Curvy moon. Good boy. Drink honey water when home. Ethan didn't reply. Half an hour later, he stood at my door. Suit jacket over his arm, tie loose, reeking of alcohol, yet speaking confidently. Here for the honey water. I pulled him in, made the drink, handed it over. Teased. Told you to drink at home. Why come? He drank half, probably still uncomfortable, yanked off his tie, undid shirt buttons. Slumped against me like a puppet without strings. But home is where you are. He'd suggested moving in together once. I instantly refused. Later he dropped it. I thought he'd given up. Turns out, he switched tactics, finding ways to stay over. But driving the detour daily, the assistant delivering clothes mornings, it was exhausting. Feeling guilty. Maybe don't drive me every day. Ethan immediately frowned. No. I miss you every day. Forgot. Reasoning with the drunk was futile. I started to relent when he spoke again. Don't you miss me? His expression demanded an answer. I obliged. I do. He sulked. Liar. If you missed me, why refuse to move in? His scheming was obvious. I half suspected fake drunkenness. Ethan, we've only been back together a month. Too fast. He instantly withdrew his arm from my waist, sat upright, expression serious despite bleary eyes. No. I never agreed to break up. We've been together years. Then he slumped back, asleep against the sofa. I froze for 2 seconds, then laughed. So we moved in together. Leaving for work together, grocery shopping together, evening walks together, wasting time together. Beginning to share every minute of our lives. On Ethan's birthday, Ryan and friends arranged a gathering at Chaoya. My flight landed late. I told him to go first. Changing into a white dress at home, I remembered a matching necklace. Found it deep in a drawer. As I closed the drawer, A black box caught my eye. It looked long untouched. Curious, I opened it and froze. Inside lay a stack of plane tickets. All for the same city, where I'd lived for 3 years. Ethan had searched for me. Over and over. He went every time, yet never saw me. This delayed truth struck me speechless. I stood there stunned. The living room phone rang. Ethan asked if I needed a ride. Snapping back, "No, en route." Then I rummaged through my suitcase, pulled out a box, stuffed it into my bag, and rushed out. Reaching the private room door, voices inside stopped me. Ryan asked, "What if she never came back?" My hand froze mid-air. Silence. Then Ethan spoke. He probably smiled saying it. He said, "There is no what if. You don't waste affection on an ungrateful little beast." I stood outside, crying uncontrollably again. After fixing my makeup, I pushed the door open. Ethan sat center on the sofa, radiating ease. Seeing me, he straightened slightly, eyes lighting up. He crooked a finger. "Come here." People cheered. The music stopped. I walked towards him, my fishtail skirt swaying gracefully. Stopping just short, I pulled out a blue velvet box. Inside lay 2 simple matching rings. Then I called his name. "Ethan." Gasps erupted. Ethan froze. "Marry me." Screams pierced the room. Ethan glanced at the rings, then at me. A sudden smile. He stood, wrapped his arms around my waist, pulling me close. A scorching kiss landed on my earlobe. He took the rings, his voice low. "Proposing is my job." Next moment, he knelt on one knee. His beautiful eyes held only me. Silence. His eyes reddened. Someone teased, "Are Young crying?" Ethan tilted his head, sniffing, putting on a cocky front. "Who cries proposing?" Then, meeting my gaze seriously, my big boy, holding my hand, tears in his eyes, said, "Luna, be my bride. I'll buy you the world's most beautiful wedding dress." I laughed through tears, feigning indignation. "Only the dress?" Ethan smiled too, the tear dot lifting at his eye corner. "Whatever you want if I have it." I waved my hand. "Then hand over the salary card, Boss Sue." Ethan slipped the ring onto my right ring finger, winding his arms around me. "You can have me too." All surrounding noise drowned in his deep kiss. Love is the ultimate weapon, piercing 3 years of time, stabbing through our hearts. This time, I'll hold you tight.